Hey there, fellow seekers of wisdom and insight. Welcome back to Opulence King. Today, we're tackling a topic that's often left in the shadows, the unique challenges that intelligent people face. So grab your thinking caps because we're about to dive into the deep end of the brain pool. But before we go any further, remember, this isn't a pity party. We're here to shed light on the hurdles that come with being a bit brainer than the average bear. So let's start with a biggie. First, overthinking. Oh boy, this is a big one. It's like having a mental hamster wheel that never stops spinning. Let me break it down for you. Smart folks, they've got this incredible ability to see multiple angles, dissect situations from every possible perspective. Sounds cool, right? Well, sometimes it's a blessing, sometimes it's a curse. Picture this. You're at a dinner with a friend, just trying to choose between pancakes and waffles. Most folks pick what they fancy, but for the brainiacs, it becomes an internal debate of epic proportions. They'll analyze the calorie count, the nutritional value, the flavor profile, the impact on their day's activities. And by the time they're ready to order, the coffee's gone cold. The waitress is giving them the side eye. But it's not just about breakfast dilemmas. Imagine you're deciding whether to take a new job offer. For most, it's a mix of gut feeling, salary, and location. But for our overthinkers, they're calculating the pros and cons, analyzing the company culture, envisioning their future 5 years down the line, and researching the CEO's favorite breakfast cereal. It's exhaustive. So, why do smart people seem to experience this more? Well, their sharp minds want to make sure they're explored every nook and cranny of a decision. They're wired to seek the best outcome, which is awesome in theory, but in practice, it can lead to anxiety, stress, and turning even the simplest choices into a mountain of decision. Now, let's dive into a beast called perfectionism. It's all about wanting everything to be top-notch, like having a chef's standard in a fast food world. But here's the kicker. It can lead to projects that drag on indefinitely, and taking a risk feels like dancing with a loaded gun. Imagine you're working on a simple presentation for your job. Most folks would get it done, maybe add some visuals, and call it a day. But for the perfectionist, it's an epic quest for flawlessness. They'll scrutinize every slide, spend hours choosing the perfect font, and make sure the colors match their corporate brand guidelines down to the hexadecimal code. But the struggle doesn't end at work. Take redecorating a living room, for example. Most would pick a couch they like, throw in some cushions, and voila. But the perfectionist, they'll spend months researching couch styles, measuring the room from every possible angle, and endlessly rearranging furniture until it's Instagram worthy. So, why do smart people often wrestle with this perfectionist demon? Well, their quest for excellence can sometimes morph into an obsession. They set the bar impossibly high, not just for others, but primarily for themselves. They're driven by an unquenchable thirst for the best possible outcome in every endeavor. But this relentless pursuit of perfection can be creativity killer, as it turns what could be swift, fun projects into never-ending battles with self-imposed standards. Before we continue with our discussion of the problems that only smart people have, remember to subscribe to our channel for more videos. Like and share this video with your friends. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think of these smart people's problems. Loneliness, the silent companion of the intellectually gifted. It's the feeling of being stranded in a desert of simple conversations when all you crave is a sip from the oasis of deep and meaningful discourse. Imagine trying to have a chat about astrophysics at a kid's birthday party. It's like trying to teach a cat to play chess. It can be, well, tough. You see, smart folks often find themselves in a peculiar predicament. Their thoughts soar higher than an eagle, but the company around them might be on a different altitude altogether. They yearn for discussions that make their neurons crackle with excitement. Yet many social gatherings revolve around topics that barely scratch the surface. Take, for instance, a family dinner. Most folks are content discussing the weather, but our brainiacs, they're pondering the mysteries of the cosmos, relativity theory, or the latest breakthrough in quantum computing. Trying to share these thoughts can be like trying to speak a foreign language in a land of monolinguals. So, why does this loneliness tend to tag along with intelligence? Well, it's not that smart people don't want to chat about everyday stuff, but they also crave the mental gymnastics of profound discussions. Finding someone who can keep up with their intricate thoughts can be like finding a unicorn in a haystack. And that's why loneliness sometimes sneaks in, leaving them yearning for those rare moments of intellectual camaraderie. Boredom. Oh, it's a sworn enemy of the brainy. Imagine reading the same book on an internal loop, and you've got a glimpse into the daily grind for those with sharp minds. It's like being trapped in a Groundhog Day of the intellect. And it's far from thrilling. Here's the deal. Smart folks, they thrive on mental stimulation. Just like a car needs fuel to run, their brains crave new information, puzzles, and challenges to stay engaged. If they don't get it, it's like putting a Ferrari engine in neutral and revving it endlessly. Frustrating, right? Let's paint a picture of everyday life. Imagine you're stuck in a job where your tasks are as exciting as watching paint dry. For most people, it's a paycheck. But for the brainy bunch, it's a sentence to mental stagnation. They need tasks that make their neurons dance, or else they'll be tapping their feet impatiently. It's not just about work though. Think about a social gathering where small talks reign supreme. For most, it's pleasant chill chat. But for our intellectual friends, it can be as thrilling as watching paint dry again. They crave deep conversations that challenge their intellect, not surface level banter about the weather. So, why is boredom the nemesis of the brainy? Simply put, their minds need constant exercise. It's like being handed a Rubik's Cube and not being allowed to twist and turn it. That's why they often seek out new hobbies, read voraciously, or tackle complex problems just to keep their mental gears turning. Boredom for them is like a slow torture, and they'll do anything to escape it. Now, let's venture into the labyrinth of decision making. For the intellectually gifted, making choices can feel like wandering through a maze without a map. They want to consider every possible outcome, which can turn even a simple trip to the grocery store into a mission to the moon. Picture this. You're at the supermarket, and all you need is a box of cereal. Most folks breeze through the cereal aisle, grab their favorite, and move on. But for the brainy bunch, it's an entirely different story. They'll stand there contemplating the nutritional value, the price per ounce, the potential health benefits, the environmental impact of the packaging. It's like trying to solve Fermat's last theorem in the cereal aisle. And it's not just about breakfast choices. Imagine they're buying a car. For most, it's a mix of budget, style, and maybe a test drive. But for our thinkers, it's an analytical minefield. They'll research every make and model, compare gas mileage, crash test ratings, and even consult with experts, all before deciding on that four-wheeled investment. So, why does decision making become such a quagmire for the intellectually gifted? Well, it's because they want to ensure they've explored every possible avenue. They're wired to seek the optimal outcome, which is fantastic trail in theory. But in practice, it can lead to analysis paralysis. In other words, they can get stuck in the decision-making process endlessly weighing options until it feels like they're planning a NASA launch rather than picking out a box of cereal. What do you think of our list so far? If you're liking our video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our future videos. Imposter Syndrome. It's that relentless doubt, even when your trophy shelf is packed with accomplishments. Despite all evidence to the contrary, it's that nagging feeling you're just faking it. Like an unwelcome guest, self-doubt can creep in at the most unexpected moments, whispering in your ear that you're not as competent as you appear to be. Imagine you've aced your job for years, but still, you feel like any moment, someone will expose you as a fraud. It's like winning an Olympic gold medal and believing you stumbled into it by accident. Imposter syndrome isn't picky. It can strike even the most accomplished individuals, making them question their worth and abilities. And the paradox is, the more you achieve, the louder that voice can become. Frustration. It's the classic Einstein at a table full of Charlie Brown scenario. Picture this. You've got these complex ideas buzzing in your head like a beehive. But the folks around you, they're on a wavelength light years away from your mental space station. It's like trying to teach algebra to someone who thinks X is just a letter. Imagine you're excitedly discussing a cutting-edge scientific breakthrough or the nuances of a philosophical theory, and your audience responds with blank stares or a polite nod. It's akin to explaining the intricacies of quantum physics to a toddler. Frustration boils up because for the intellectually gifted, these ideas are like breathing air, and they assume everyone else is on the same page. It's not about feeling superior, it's about longing for meaningful engagement. But alas, it often leads to hair-pulling moments as you attempt to breach the gap between your intellectual galaxy and their earthbound perspective. Frustration becomes the unwelcome guest at the dinner table, leaving you craving conversations that can truly stimulate your intellect. Remember, this isn't about cripping. It's about understanding the full spectrum of the intellectual journey. Intelligence is a gift, and it's up to us to navigate its twists and turns. Thanks for joining me on this adventure into the depths of intelligence. If this video gave you food for thought, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your fellow thinkers, and hit that subscribe button for more mind-bending content. Always keep in mind, true opulence isn't just about how much you know, it's about how you use that knowledge to make the world a better place. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and may your journey be filled with insight and enlightenment.